On June 23rd, 2025, at approximately 12:45 p.m., the Orange County Sheriff's Office received a call from a woman stating her boyfriend had been smoking drugs and had held her against her will at knife point all night. Deputies responded to the scene, located at the Isles at East Millenia Apartments on Lake Fountain Drive. Upon arrival, they spoke to the woman, who confirmed her boyfriend had threatened her with a knife. The deputies determined they had probable cause to arrest the man for aggravated assault and that the woman was willing to prosecute. Over the next hour, deputies continued to communicate with the 57-year-old man who was now barricaded inside the apartment. The victim, his girlfriend, was no longer in the apartment and out of danger. At approximately 2:45 p.m., deputies on scene requested a negotiator and SWAT team members to respond. While negotiations continued, SWAT team members positioned themselves around the apartment. At one point, the man came out of the room and moved towards deputies while armed with a knife. That's when two of our deputies fired their service weapons, striking the man. Paramedics who were already on scene staging transported the man to the hospital, where he later died. As is our standard procedure, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating the shooting and will turn over their findings to the State Attorney's Office for review. Once that process is complete, the Orange County Sheriff's Office will conduct its own internal investigation. The deputies who fired their service weapons are now on temporary paid administrative leave pending FDLE's initial review. And now I'll open it up for any questions.
Was the woman being held against her will all night long?
Yes.
How long was that?
I don't know the exact time it started, but from sometime from last night, overnight, until this morning, when about 12:45, when she got out and made a phone call.
And was she having a hard time getting out to call law enforcement?
She could not, from her standpoint, she could not get out. So she did not feel comfortable trying to leave.
Have you guys gotten calls out to this property before and about this individual?
I don't have any information about the individual or how many calls were responded to, but we can get you that.
The man had a knife?
Yes, ma'am.
No other weapon?
Not that I know of at this point. So
And did he come charging close to the deputies and they felt like they had to fire? What was the situation there?
he started moving toward the deputies. He refused to comply with their instructions, and they felt like they needed to fire their weapons.
Not too long ago, we reported on, there was a weekend where a deputy got punched in the face multiple times. Someone tried to stab him and he hit his head on a bathtub faucet. I mean, can you talk about the dangers with this job and how your deputies are feeling?
I think we've had several shootings over the last couple of weeks that kind of illustrate how dangerous it is to be a deputy. Those last shootings, people attacked them with knives, they attacked them with fists. The same when the person is armed with a knife, our deputies are put in a very tricky situation where they have to make a split-second decision on whether to fire their weapon or save their own life or save the life of another person. So it is very, very challenging for our deputies out there.
Has this man ever been Baker acted before or suffered any sort of mental limitations?
I don't have that information now. I will tell you, when we call out a negotiator, our negotiators are CIT trained. So, we're constantly training all of our deputies on CIT. So most of our deputies that are working the road have been through CIT training. So that is a major a goal of the Sheriff's Office, is to make sure all our first responders are CIT trained.
CIT meaning?
Crisis intervention training. So that means they're equipped to deal with someone going through a mental crisis.
Were there any other people inside the house or prior to as this woman was trying to get away from this?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I haven't been reported on any children or anything like that. Just her.
Have you learned anything else about the relationship between them before, if there was any history of domestic violence?
A lot of that will come out as the investigation continues on. So I don't have that information at this point.
And just to have it clear, she was being held against her will inside the apartment, but at some point was able to get out and make the phone call?
Yes.
Did she use her phone or a neighbor's?
I think she went to the office, the apartment complex office.
Did she live there?
Yes.
How long,
Do they live together, the boyfriend?
As far as I know, yes. So, or at least he stayed that night. So,
how long between when deputies made first contact with the suspect and when SWAT entered the property?
approximately 3.5 to 4 hours before. Well, that's the whole incident. So, like I said, we got the call at 12:45. Deputies responded immediately. They requested. They get there. They try to talk. They eventually requested a negotiator and SWAT team members, and they arrived shortly after 2:45.
And how is that woman doing? Was she harmed at all?
Not that I know. I don't have any status on her injuries or if she sustained any injuries.
Also, the identity of the suspect?
We'll get you that at a later date. So I don't know if all the notifications have been made to his family as well. So
So if you can help me out as far as the proximity of him coming out of the house with the knife and where your deputies were and when that exchange took place.
that's going to be part of the investigation. But what I will tell you, someone can close the distance with a knife very, very quickly. If you go back to 2 of the last shootings we had, those were inside of a bedroom, inside of an apartment. Somebody can close that distance very, very rapidly. The distance that we are now is within our reactionary gap where I would be very concerned if one of you had a knife and started moving toward me. So
Also, with the 2 officer-involved shootings that you guys had not too long ago, 3 weeks ago, plus this one, I mean, does that take a hit on the department at all with the amount of deputies on administrative leave?
no, we have sufficient deputies to kind of handle what's going on. What I will tell you takes a hit is it hurts you because you're out here trying to protect this community and someone is trying to kill you. And that takes a toll whether you're involved in it directly or your family sees it. When your family sees another deputy go through what these deputies went through, it brings a lot of trauma. When you see one of your brothers or sisters go through this, it's a lot of trauma. It doesn't matter if you're involved directly or not. It could have very easily been me or anybody else that wears a uniform. So
What do you think that says about the environment that we live in now with mental health and everything?
I think there are a few people that are willing to hurt deputies. I think overall that our community is a good community. I think obviously we need more resources when it comes to mental health, and we're trying to make sure that our deputies are best equipped to deal with it. But they're not medical professionals. They're not mental health workers. They're deputies, and we give them the tools that we can so they can deal with it. But there's so much out there that is very, very difficult.
Will you be releasing any body-worn camera regarding this incident that we could use?
We will. Our policy is to release the body-worn camera within 30 days. We like to allow the Florida Department of Law Enforcement the opportunity to look at it, investigate it before we release it, but it will get released within 30 days.
Chief, were the deputies involved, the ones that actually did the shooting, were they SWAT or were they uniform patrol?
They are SWAT. They are on the SWAT team. But some of them are assigned to uniform patrol, but they are SWAT team members as well.
Do you know how long they've been?
I don't have that information right now. All right. Thank you, guys.